Blessing and favor each and everyone. How are you going? Today I was traveling in a taxi on the highway, and while I was traveling in the taxi, all of a sudden I see a lot of traffic start backing up. And I said, wonder what is caused that traffic, what is causing that traffic. When I look, I see thick smoke, like somebody it was bushfire. Thick smoke. When I tell you that the smoke was thick, it was thick, it was thick. The vehicles couldn't drive fast. And let me tell you, it's like some of the motorists were afraid to even approach the smoke with the vehicles, right? And when I saying to myself, I said to the driver, well, you'd have to put on your headlights. A mosquito. You'd have to put on your headlights, but I don't know if he didn't hear me or he wasn't paying me any attention or what, I don't know. But while there, it was our time because every vehicle was like afraid to approach the thick smoke. So it was the vehicle that I was in turned now to go. And I saying, oh Lord, I thinking now, I say, okay, you'd have to put on his headlight. But it seems as if he didn't do it. But he took his time to go through the thick smoke because you couldn't see. When I tell you, you could any vehicle just go through, enter that smoke, you don't see the vehicle. That is how thick the smoke was. And I said to myself, well, the vehicles have to be driving very slow because, probably they would be afraid to hit the other vehicle in front of them because of the thick smoke and they cannot see. I'm telling you how thick the smoke was. While it was the vehicle that I was in turn to enter the thick, thick smoke on the highway. When we enter, we couldn't see, before we enter, we couldn't see nothing. Watch that. You couldn't, once the vehicle enters the smoke, you can't see nothing. And when the vehicle that we were in entered into the smoke now, I turn around and I look. I could see everything. I say, But you see, that is how life is. That is how life is. Situation might look hard, but until you approach the situation, you touch the situation, you start dealing with the situation, you realize it's easier than how it looks. So you see a lot of people on the outside saying, boy, Christianity look hard. I can't become a Christian because Christianity look hard. But when they decide to give their life to Christ, I say, But how people let it seems like it's so hard. And it's easier than I thought. Because when the vehicle entered the smoke, I could see everything, every vehicle, everything. But before we entered and we're looking on the outside, it was so thick you couldn't. Once the vehicle entered the smoke, you cannot see. But when your vehicle enters the smoke, you can see everything around you. Do not be fooled. Do not make the looks of situation, people, circumstances let you be fooled. You know, I look at that and I say, wow, that is a lesson. Do not look at things and judge. That is with a lot of people. We love to judge. And it is time for us to stop judge. So do not look on a person and say, by the looks of he, by the looks of she, I know she this, I know she that. Look, she look like she tore people a lot. Look, he look like he's a womanizer. Look, by the looks. So my advice to everyone, do not look on the situation and judge. But instead of judging the situation, instead of judging people, let us all pray and ask the Lord for wisdom, how to attack the situation, how to deal with the situation, how to approach the situation, the person, whatever it may be. Stop judging. Because guess what? We ourselves don't like to be judged. I remember when people used to judge me, oh, she have whole heap of man, she have a lot of men and this and that. But it was not true. But the looks, they say, yes, she have whole heap of man, she did, she that. And all they did was judge me. All they did was judge me. I remember a guy, he came with a lot of money and he was drunk. And he took the money. I told him to give me the money. Or I don't remember if he gave me the money and tell me to keep it for him. And I hid the money for him. When I hid the money for him, he was telling people like the next day, hey, he gave me money to put up for him because he was drunk. And everyone started to say, boy, you ain't getting that. You ain't getting that. She take all of that. She rob all of that money. You ain't getting that. You ain't getting that. And I'm going to show you something. In the same night that he gave me the money to put up for him, someone was keeping a dance. A person that they and I used to live in the same house. They kept a dance. Now, you know, like you live in a little house, so you don't really have much secret and thing. So it's like, I don't remember, I put up the money like in my bag or something. I don't remember how they found the money. And they thought that, okay, it was their money that I stole. You see? And when they called me and asked me, I said, well, it was XYZ. Right? When the guy came back for his money and he get back every dime, I didn't touch not even a penny. And you know the amount of people who judged me just by looking at me, because I used to love dress hot, used to love dress nice, wear my short clothes, my sexy clothes and ting. You know, yes, I used to love to ride on bike backs and thing, but that doesn't mean that, yes, I used to sleep with the men. A lot of people used to brand my name. They didn't know me. So looking at the circumstances, looking at the situation, looking at the person, you can't just say, yes, they're this, yes, they're that. Stop judge. Because you don't like to be judged. So don't judge. In St. Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 and 2, and it reads, judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. Meet, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. So not because you see a situation or you see a circumstances, you're going to judge how it looks. You're going to judge how the person looks. You're going to say, okay, then from you see that person wear that type of clothes, they are a thief. You know, from you see that person, the type of clothes they wear, he's a gangster. From you see the type of clothes that she wears, She has she has a lot of men. She has a lot of men. From you see the looks of she or the looks of he's not educated. Stop judging people. If you don't like people to judge you, stop judging people. Read St. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1 and 2. Stop judge, or else you will be judged. Amen. Have a blessed day. As usual, my name is Sister Anna, and my word to you tonight: do not judge. Be blessed.